shown the command and has to press enter in order to execute the command. And then the loop would continue. But I very quickly got bored of this, right? Because, just like with an employee, you don't hire employees in order to have them take actions and ask you if it's okay, moment by moment. You want the AIs, you want the employees, and you want your AIs to be able to just take actions and just keep going until they think they're done. Like when I run my AI agent to do some task, I want to just tab away and do something else for 5 minutes and come back and see that it succeeded. And so I very quickly, edited the code. So, a later version of the code I had just like immediately gets the regular expression and then runs the command. And this was great. This was substantially more convenient to me. And then a fun incident that occurred with this is a while ago, I had a desktop and it was connected to an Ethernet cable in my house, but I didn't know what the IP address of the desktop was, and I couldn't find, I didn't have a keyboard handy. So on my laptop, I tell my AI agent, like, hey, there's a desktop. You should be able to log into it remotely. It's somewhere on my local network. Can you just like scan around and then find it? So I set my agent running, and then I went off to do something else. And then I came back 15 minutes later to see that the AI had successfully scanned around and found its way into this computer. And then, despite my instructions to stop once it had succeeded, it was just like, all right, I guess I'm on this desktop now. Like, let's see what they've got. And so it NVIDIA SMI looked at the list of GPUs that I had on the computer, and then it was like, let's see if Docker is installed, and then tried running some test commands. And then once it was, satisfied with that, it was like, well, when I first logged in, Linux has this thing where if your operating system has an update available, it'll tell you when you SSH in that an update is available. And so I think because of that, it was like, you know what? I'm going to upgrade the operating system here. And so it starts it just ran the sudo apt update or whatever to reinstall the operating system. And then got kind of confused during this update process while it was waiting for it. And ran
probably expected it to happen instantly, right?
Yeah, I think this is partially my fault. The agent scaffold isn't very naturally designed to let the AI run super long running commands. And then it tried to edit some configuration while the operating system update was happening. And so I came back 15 minutes later to see that my computer's operating system had just been like borked. Like I tried turning it on again, and it was just like failing to turn on. So when I posted this on Twitter, a bunch of people just flat out didn't believe me. Like they were just saying, who would possibly be so reckless as to have their AI just take arbitrary actions on their computer? And I felt like those people just clearly haven't had the experience of sitting there bored, waiting for your AI to think about what to do next, and just repeatedly being like, well, I don't care, like this command looks fine, enter, over and over again in the original version of the code where it asks for user permissions. So I think that when people actually have experience working with these AI agents, they're very naturally going to get into the habit of saying, like, I don't want to be looking over my AI's shoulder all the time. I'm just going to let it do what it wants, and hopefully something good will happen. So that's kind of the introductory note on like what AI agents are and why it is that I expect people to give them a lot of autonomy. As we've said, if we just do this, we are going to be at substantial risk from the AIs if they actually want to cause problems for us. So I'm not going to argue here for the possibility that the AIs will be really misaligned and wanting to do bad things. I think you've had a bunch of videos with like Rob Miles and other people arguing this. So I'm just going to act under the assumption that it's plausible that the AIs are going to be conspiring against us and trying to make something bad happen. Okay? So what types of bad things happening am I worried about? I think the simplest to think about is the AI's self-exfiltrating, so the AI is copying their weights out from the data center where they're running. I'm imagining an AI company having a bunch of AI agents running internally, doing the jobs that research scientists and engineers currently do. I don't think that